Welcome, everyone. We are live. It is Wednesday. I got home yesterday from work and I put my plants in the ground and ate my supper in the gazebo in the backyard with Lil Bit. And it was lovely. It really was lovely. And I'm working on getting my rain barrel ready. But one day at a time, right? Don't make me sing it. But today I wanted to talk about making it yours. You see, sometimes we get caught up in techniques, and I keep saying to you, life is not a technique. It really isn't. It is just what it is, living. And the principles are what they are, and they're never going to change. You can't break them, thank the Lord. That's what I will say. I am so glad that I cannot break the principles. I'm always bound by them. Like, seriously, for me, I can be so whatever, but the structure of the principles are what give me the power to move in my life. And I use it everywhere. I just did something at work, and now she's been there considerably longer than I have been. And I said, oh, I just got to get that done better because I need to know what's going on so that I'm not confused. And she said something to me. She goes, well, everything on my desk is, I can see it at a glance. And I'm like, at a glance? Well, then I should do something that you do, but just modify it to make it my own. I had to make it mine, make it yours. So when you are applying the principles to your life, you have a personality that is uniquely yours. We call it nuance. You have a way of doing things. Somebody asked the other day, do we really have free will? I'm like, that's because we were told free will is something that it isn't. We think free will is do what you want when you want, how you want. Nobody cares. We think that's what free will is sometimes. Free will, on the other hand, is choose. Because based upon what you choose, something will happen based upon your choice. Your choice is a cause. And the effect of that cause, like I tell my son, choose how you want to live. You want me nagging at you? We could do that. You want to be in a house that is peaceful and fun? We could do that too. But that depends on your choices. You see, willpower. Willpower is like, what I want to say. How do I want to put it into words? It's kind of like, when you have a little bit of a fight in you. When people say, he lost the will to do this, or, his willpower is strong, you know. But using your will alone is exhausting. How do I know? Because in traditional Chinese medicine, the will belongs to, oh my God, I want to say, I don't know, do I remember which organ? Courage is your gallbladder, but the will, I think that's kidneys. I think it is. Because the intellect and thinking would be the spleen. So your will, when you use up all of that energy, that force to make something happen, it becomes exhausting. So is there something else that you use instead of will? Yes. Principle, law. But as I said, you have a particular nuance. You have a way of, like yesterday I told you, there's going to be one of those principles, one of the seven. Truthfully, there's only one, but you know what? We break it into seven little bite-sized pieces so that you get what's happening, so that you comprehend what is happening. And one of those seven will jump out at you and say, gotcha. This is the one I love the most. And the beautiful thing about the principles or the law is when you do one, you're doing them all simultaneously. See, this is why I tell you that the law is amazing. If I don't remember cause and effect, and I remember correspondence, well, as within, so without. But what is within can only be what's on the outside. So that will tell you that every cause, which thing is within, can only bring about a very specific thing on the outside. So you see, and in order for you to bring about something, to get it from the inside to the outside, you must know what it is that you want. So there you are at mentalism. So you see, we have a very unique way of applying things because you have your own personality. I can look at my chickens and tell you their personalities. And their personalities are based upon my observation of them, especially popcorn. So you as an individual, you have your way. So you see, every time people look for a technique, truly, and what they're trying to do is find their way of how they do things, right? There may be many different expressions for you to do something, but don't get it twisted. You're only ever doing that one thing, just in your unique way. So you take your time and you ask yourself, shoot, who am I? What do I like? I found a new song. Oh, yes, I did. And it is so melodic. Yes, it's a country song. Don't come for me. Then Beyonce just win Country Album of the Year. But you know what? I'm just saying. You've got your own way of doing things. You are not limited to do things like everybody else. So the way that you exercise or apply the principles is uniquely yours. But the principles don't change. You recognize who and what you are and how to apply them with your own flavor, with your own beautiful essence. Mentalism, the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. You know this, that you must know who you are. You must know that you are. Hmm? And in that knowing that you are, now you get to say, well, who do I want to be? You notice how it doesn't ask you, well, who should Angela be? It asks you, Ursula, darling, who do you want to be? And you get to sit there and ponder who you want to be based upon your own nuance. But because you apply it in your nuanced way, does not mean that the principle changes to match you. It doesn't change to match you. Correspondence doesn't change to match you. It is always based upon what is inside of you. So the principles bring to the surface who and what you are. You get to discover who and what you are. I got this one coworker, she says to me, Angela, every time I learn something about you, you're so fascinating. And I'm like, fascinating? I said, girl, my life is what it is. I'm not fascinated. I'm not fascinating at all. Because I don't see it the way she does. She sees it through her own lens, her own nuance, right? So that's what I'm saying to you this morning. We don't look for a technique on how to live. We discover who we are and live accordingly. See, that is what the principles do. And like I mentioned earlier, I am glad that I cannot break the principles. Oh, jeez. Because I know me very well. And I can say I am glad. I love the structure of them. They appear to be rigid, the principles. You know, when you hear the all is mind, the universe is a mental creation, or the principle of correspondence as above, so below, as within, so without. Well, that seems so rigid. No, it is the most flexible thing there is. It would have to be, because through the principles, things grow and expand. That's what makes them flexible. They grow and expand. Not flexible as in, oh, look, there's George. George seems to be having a problem. Let me fix it for George. No, the principles are there. And if George has a problem, George can look at his life and say, I don't quite care for this part. Let me modify what I am doing. Because George can look at it and see, this is happening and I want that to happen. So I got to get that inside. How do I get it inside? You get it inside by knowing that what you are will always show itself. This is how you get it inside. By knowing that what you are must and will always show itself. Ooh, those are some strong words. Must, always. Ooh, will, yes. You can take it to the bank, literally speaking. Because when you know that the principles are what they are, look, I have 3 raspberry bushes and a blueberry bush. They're not going to give me Saskatoon berries. No, I know this. You have to have the same knowing in the rest of your life. But you see, what we do is we taint the knowing with the illusion of, what if it doesn't happen? What if I'm wrong? That's what we do. We taint. Yeah, but I've been trying. No, don't try. Align. If you know that you have to plant corn to get corn, what must your attitude be to bring about what it is that you want? Well, then you've got to start walking in that attitude, rehearsing that attitude, loving that attitude. You see, because when we love something, we give it our what? Oh, we give it our attention. Like me yesterday, I had that song on repeat all afternoon. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It had my attention. And because as I listened to it, I moved the way it did. Whew, hallelujah. Lovely song, right? This is how you get when you decide. And what we would call it, there's a word for it. The word is care. When you care about something, you behave in a very particular way towards the thing you care about. When you see when you're driving, they tell you what? Care and attention. Care and attention. You think they just pulled that out of thin air? That comes from the principles. Because in order for something to hold you in its thrall, You have to care about it. Or else, why would you give it the time? Time, allegedly, is our most precious commodity. Last I checked, I can only go without oxygen for, uh, possibly 30 seconds, but time is my most precious commodity? Ooh, ooh, okay. What you care about, you give your attention to. Look at your life and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The evidence is there for you. What you care about, you give your attention to. And when you give your attention to something, it grows and it flourishes and it brings forth fruit or life experiences. That is inevitable, which means that's just the way it's going to happen. So there's no technique to living, but there is a comprehension of how life unfolds. It unfolds because we care. That's what unfolds. Hmm? Oh, oh. Good morning, sunshine. See? What is your way? What garners the most care from you? Look at your life and you will see. You will see what either garners the most care or you will see what you don't care about. Right? Either way, you're going to see it. So when you look at those things and you say, but I'm forced. I'm forced to care about this thing. You know, because we have jobs, right? Bills dictate that we got to work. But if you change your mental attitude about work, it'll change your life. Think about that. It doesn't matter which job I do. Sometimes it's hard to leave jobs for me because I like them. I like what I do. Some days are better than others. But this is why I say you have to make it your own. Right? Sometimes when we get up and we complain about, oh my God, I gotta go to work again. Oh, I gotta hate my job. Think about what is inside of you now. Think about what is inside of you when you do that. Mm. Mm. When you see what's within, based upon how much you quote unquote hate your job, then you can clearly see why the job is going the way it is. Then you'll begin to realize, oh my God, it's not about my boss. It's not about my pay. It's about me. Mm? So the mental attitude, change your mental attitude. How do you change your mental attitude around a job that you don't like? How do you do it? You recognize that jobs are inanimate objects. You have to get in and power it. And how you choose to get in it and power it is how it will perform. So you want a raise? Do you see your own value? I didn't ask you about inflation. Didn't ask you a lick about inflation or whether or not you gonna get that raise or if you qualify for the raise. You ain't been there long enough. I didn't ask you any of those things. I asked you if you saw your own value. See, most of us are waiting for someone to see our value. Whose value is it? Mine. If it is my value, then I should know what it is. Hmm? That's like asking the question, what do you bring to the table? Oh, shoot. That's a great question. What do you bring to the table? Don't ask me about me. Do you know about you? It's not what I bring to the table. A table doesn't exist until I build it. So what am I building that table with? I'm building that table with who I am, my character, my personality, my nuances, my care, my attention. So you see, this is why you make your life your own. You must. You make it your own by first observing the self, you, at all times. Knowing who and what you are, what you want to be. And he ain't never gonna be anything but a rooster, I tell you. Someone say he might be lunch. No. He will only ever be what he is. Right? He'll only be what he is. And this is why you and I, at our very core, are what we are. Our core, our essence. Take your time and you'll see it. So today, make the principles and how you apply them your own. As I said, when you do that, they don't change. Their essence and what they are. Correspondence is still going to be correspondence. See, but we think correspondence is like, now you letter writing, right? We think that's what it is. But if you look at it, you'll see what it is. Correspondence is me taking what is within me and conveying it to you. As within, so without. Correspondence is letters, right? Writing, communication. So what are you doing when you communicate? You're taking what is within you and expressing it outward. As within, so without is the principle of correspondence. We say these words ad nauseum every single day without knowing what they really mean. When I write you a letter, I'm writing you from within. Think about that. You're writing an email, you're writing what's within. Right? You are writing what is within. Always as within, so without. It's the principle of correspondence. So now when you go out there in the world and you hear, well, did you get the corresponding email, blah, 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 blah. Now you'll understand. It's never about the other person. It is always you and what you are taking from the inside of yourself and projecting towards the outside. So this is why I tell you, the principles don't change. You just begin to discover your nuanced way of applying them. You know, what makes you unique is what you do. So that's why I'm saying to you, you make it your own. You just do. Mm? You just do. So this morning I shan't keep you long because I got a lot of work to do today at work. And I want to get there early. Ah, it's nice. It is nice to focus. This is what I mean when I say you use your job to hone your skills. Um, some people say, "Oh, I have ADHD. I got ADD." I'm like, if you look at it, what is the expression of it? What is the effect of it? Look at it. I can't focus. Nothing holds my attention. But I'm gonna tell you, if you're doing something you love, it'll hold your attention for hours. Oh yes. Oh, Angela, clearly you don't know what ADHD is. That's why you can say that. So sometimes when I take a break from my work and looking at the screen all the time, I focus on the music. The music is always on. And with music, because that's what I've found, music makes everything better for me. It really does. That's what made me start driving. My very first day, my instructor got into the car with me. I'm in the car, and I was scared, y'all. I was like 19, 18, 19, somewhere in there. And I was scared. And I wouldn't turn on the ignition. So he turned on the auxiliary and he turned on the radio after about 15 minutes. And Mariah Carey came on the radio. Sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. And I was like, ooh, I like this song. Next thing you know, your girl is driving. And he said to me, that's all I needed to do was to give you music. But every job I do has music. Yes. Because there's something about it for me. That's my nuance. What is yours? See? This is what it comes down to. What is yours? And this is, again, the beauty of the principles. The beauty of the principles is that you will discover what has been there all along. In spite of what you may have heard about yourself, because this I was reading. Don't If you don't have Reddit, don't get it. These Reddit streets, oh my God, you will go down some dark alleyways. Hello, so don't. Reddit is not your friend, baby. Nevertheless, I'm on Reddit a lot because I answer questions on Reddit. Just people's just different rooms, and this one person said, "I feel so blah blah blah. My life blah blah blah," and I was like, "Yeah, but you heard that from somewhere." So now, because that seed has been planted in your mind, that's all you can think about. Who is you? Hmm? Where is you? Are? Hmm? We could be grammatically correct if we want to, but that'll rub some feathers the wrong way, I'm sure. There is an essence to you, in spite of what you may have heard along the way. That is only smoke and mirrors from somebody else. Remember, as within, so without. So if they're going to be spewing it out there, that's what's coming out of them. That's how they feel. And you run with it and think, oh my God, that's who I am. No. And if you work with the principles will show you exactly your beauty. Oh, yes. And no two beauties are alike. But all in all, there's only beauty. There is only beauty, but your way of expressing the beauty within. Oh, but Angela, how do you know there's beauty in me? I've done some things. Girl, I'm doing some things. How can you say there's beauty in me? Because you don't quite see it does not mean it doesn't exist. So that's what the principles do. They show you who you are. And if you say, ooh, I like who I am, then the principles will expand you. It swings the same way. If you go, oh my God, that's who I am. Uh, and if you don't make a decision or a choice to change it, well, that one will be expanded as well. Because that is the nature of the principles, to expand. Yeah, to expand. Indeed. But what is your nuanced way? I challenge you. I throw down the gauntlet. Medieval times. The gauntlet was like a glove, and you just throw it down in front of the person who you want to fight. So when you say throw down the gauntlet, it's a challenge. The challenge is this: discover your nuance. Discover your nuanced way. I say discover because it is there. It just depends on what you're busy doing. Just depends on what you're busy doing. My nuanced way are my ears. Somebody said, oh my God, ever since I became clairaudient, my life has gone downhill. I said, wait, what? I was like, ever since you can hear, your life has gone downhill. I said, well, then you need to go back to the drawing board because you have a clear misunderstanding. I know, right? Mommy, don't be judgmental. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Always somebody to keep you in check, I tell you. Ugh. See, this is what I mean about a nuance. Clairaudience means hearing. What do you hear? I hear. Because that is how I was trained. I was trained to hear. This came from all the way, because remember, I couldn't read as a wee little girl. But because my grandmother was worship leader at church, I had to learn hymns. I had to memorize scripture, right? So the only way for me to do that was to listen with a very keen ear. I didn't have a choice. You could say my survival depended on it if you knew my grandmother. And if you didn't learn these things, you either get a pinch or a slap somewhere. Pay attention. So I learned to listen. And I learned how to trust that inner ear. So there is something that is uniquely yours that you have developed. Some would say, well, yeah, but you were indoctrinated. Well, all things work together for good for those that love the what now? The Lord. You can change your indoctrination. Look at it. Indoctrination just means you learned something. So it's showing you have the ability to learn anything. So, like I said, we could complain that we were indoctrinated, or we could say, well, everything is indoctrination. Because we're always learning. We're always learning something. So you could either judge your indoctrination or you could learn from it. But again, your nuanced way of doing things, make this yours. Go forth today and apply the principles. What are they? Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, causation, and gender. Those are the 7 principles. One of them will jump out at you. I don't see her in the space this morning, but I dreamt about her. I dreamt about her. Oh my God, that's tripped out. I did. Because I think of her often. Right? You have a way that is uniquely yours. It is not lost and it is not hidden from you. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. Do you know what that tells us? It tells us that it is irrelevant the mode we use. It is irrelevant what we use, but we will always get a response. That's what it's telling us. Whether we knock, seek, or ask is irrelevant. It says to do, and you shall be met with a response. Just like if you don't do, you can't be met with what you don't do. You'll only be met. Oh, Jesus. You hear it, right? You'll only be met with what? At every turn. What you are. So don't be afraid of who and what you are. There's nothing to fear about who and what you are. Nothing at all. So take your time and take your time and you will see it. And when you see it, do a little dance. For real, for real. I'm so serious. When you see it, it will make you feel so accomplished, really and truly. Because you're like, oh my God, that's me. Like, it will do something for you when you discover it. I can't stress that to you enough. I don't know who you're trying to wake up, but we are all awake now, child. Let's get the chime. But before we do that, let's welcome everyone to the space. I don't know who's on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok because nobody's made themselves known in the chat, but I see numbers. I just don't know who's here. Well, Twitter is as Twitter is tumbleweed Twitter. Oh my. Fan base is bumping this morning. Hello, Paula. Ursula, darling. Oh, Matthias. Michael. Ray Ray. Moon. Matthias, I just saw your note. I'll respond to you. Okay? I'll make some time and respond to you today. Hey, honey. I see you, Miss McQueen. I see you. I see you, Miss McQueen. Ooh, surreal. That's your boy. He gotta shout you out too. Shoot. You know how it is. But let's do the steps. Because the steps are important. I say steps because we are always doing them either way. It's just that we don't know. And this is the whole purpose. The purpose is to know what you are doing. Step 1. Who or what do you want to become? You must have clarity with that. Because without clarity, you don't know. Well, think about it. If you're being trained at work to do something and it's not quite clear, are you going to do it right? If you're an architect, or in this case, a city engineer, they want clarity. This is why when you're getting a permit, they ask you every single mundane detail because they're trying to see the big picture. so that when they go out, everything makes sense. So they want clarity. This is what knowing what you want to become or what you want to do or what you want to be is the root of your success. You must know who and what you want to be. When you see it clearly, well, now, in your nuanced way, you're going to what? Step 2, experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. That's what you do. We call it, well, let's look for the worst case scenario. Yeah, that's what we do, naturally. Like, oh my God, what if this happened? What if that happened? Yeah, but if I do this and that happens, blah, blah, blah. See what we do? But what if you did it the other way because the pendulum swings, yes? What if you do it the other way? I wonder what would happen if. How would I get out of bed in the morning if I were a successful entrepreneur doing what I love? How would I get out of bed? How would I walk down the street? What kind of car would I be driving? Melly Mel is in the house. Hey, girl. What would I be doing? Hmm? How would I say hello to my neighbors? Would I even say hello to my neighbors? Or would I just drive into my garage? What would I be doing? How would I be living my life? If I were the man or the woman I wanted to be, how would I go to the grocery store? Would they know me when I walk in? You see, all of those things you begin to play around with in your mind's eye. You begin to play around with those things in your mind's eye. And you will come upon one that stands out to you the most. And when you do, your whole body will shoot off fireworks and go, oh my God, this is it. This is exactly what I would be doing. And as soon as that happens, you've planted the seed. And what else do you do after you plant the seed? Oh, you care for it. And how do you care for a mental seed? You go in there and in your thoughts, you sprinkle that good feeling all over it again. And you begin to rehearse or experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. Because you love it. You care about it. That's how you keep it alive, as opposed to, that shit's so far-fetched, ain't never gonna happen. You gotta know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody about something else, and you ain't even got no money. And by the time you have finished speaking to yourself in such a fashion, you have just poured vinegar all over your garden. And as you and I know, vinegar, oh my, vinegar gonna kill your things. So you So you what? You nurture your desire with care and attention. Why? Because it is inevitable for its expression. It will happen. It always will. Why? Because as within, so without. And you'll walk down the street and you'll meet different people. And you'll be like, oh my God, what a coincidence. I was just thinking about this thing, and here you are telling me the same thing. Remember what a coincidence is? The external expression to the internal thought. Right? So the next time you're tempted to say, oh my God, what a coincidence, I want you to slip in something else. Say, oh, well, that's the law of correspondence. As within, so without. Oh, that's correspondence, girl. That's what you say. Call it what it is. Anywho, let me get this chime. How did I yak for so long? Oh my God. Ugh, my grandmother must be rolling right now. This is her fault. I was fine all by myself in the corner playing with my dollies. And she was like, nah, you're going to learn the word. The problem is when you learn the word, as within, so without. So you did this to me. So she's reaping her just desserts right now. She's the one who put all these words in there. and all these hymns. That was her. So now, well, she just gotta live with that. Anywho, let's get the chime, y'all. So, let's get the chime. My iPad has 9% battery power. Because somebody didn't charge it last night. I wonder who that would be. Child, no, I don't even have my glasses on. But I know what you did. Where's my chime? Hold on, baby. Don't you peck me now. Don't you peck mama. But I'll kiss you. What a good boy you are. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3. Fine. 2, 1. Much love to each and every one of you. And you know, I will see you right here again tomorrow, Thursday, on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Fanbase. And you know I love you. So what is your nuanced way? Make it yours and live your life accordingly. Indeed. And you know I love you. Peace out.